I'm kind of dying, can you tell? Hello friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel if you're new here. What is up with this lighting? Excuse the lighting, we're gonna work with it. I don't know why I look so pale for some odd reason. And I guess too doesn't help the fact that it's cloudy and windy and hot. Like I'm sweating right now as we speak. That's why I have this little thing probably going from time to time because holy moly, why? I'm super dramatic, can you tell? I love the warm, but I hate the cold way more because I hate the cold. I hate bundling up. I don't look cute and I feel like I shiver too much like a chihuahua. Anyways, yes, okay, it's time for a wrap-up video. Disclaimer for this video, it doesn't matter how many books you read and stuff. Things always happen. Life gets in the way and such, but yeah, I did get into a slump actually this month. So I didn't read too much books because of that readathon I joined in mail server. So I read a few books this month. I read like what? I read 11 books in total. A lot of them were audiobooks. I'm telling you, this was my slump era. Like I just didn't feel motivated. I just felt like my brain couldn't focus on reading for once, and I never had that happen. So I'm like, oh my god, I finally had my first slump after like what, 2-3 years now. First ever slump since like, you know, back then, but like since I got back into reading, it's like weird that I've gotten a slump now. But anyways, let's get into them. I'm going to do them all in order which I finished and read them. I do have, like I mentioned, a little stack, but like I said, mainly audiobooks. And the first audiobook I finished this month is Chlorine by Jade Song. I listened to it on audiobook, and do look up trigger warnings because oh my god, this is going to be kind of a spoiler filled wrap up as always, so I'm gonna try not to spoil too much. But basically the only thing that got to me was the writing style and me legit being heartbroken for this character because girl, I cannot. Also, I felt so bad for her main character because holy shit, she should have gotten help and told her mother all the shit she's been through with the teacher being a her sexuality and trying to discover it, and then to her head, like her injury that she had with her head that was an accident, and then to just so much more. Like oh my god, you know, I was so heartbroken over the sewing her feet to be a mermaid thing because like she really wanted to be a mermaid, and I don't know if like mental health wise and the shit that she's been through and like she looking up to the mermaids, it was like for a young age too, it kind of got me. And her friend, they could have had something. They could have had something. Okay. So that's how I felt about that book, which I gave it 3 stars. But yeah, that was a really heavy book, and an audiobook, it was just like, dang. Try to move the camera a little bit for better lighting, but I give up. Anyways, next up I listened to Warrior Girl on Earth. I gave this one 5 stars. I didn't know you're supposed to read the Firekeeper's Daughter first, but guess what? I'll get to it, okay, y'all? I'll listen to the audiobook. But I gave this one 5 stars, and I don't even know where to start. Okay, it was so good. I was engaged the whole time in the audiobook, which was a relief. I was so into it because I was working overtime as well during this month. That's probably why my slump. So we have Perry, who's a teenager and gets into an accident by avoiding to hit a bear cub on the road. And now she has to be in a summer internship to pay for the repairs of the Jeep that's not hers. During this internship, she is swayed left and right on whether she wants to bring back her warrior girl ancestors back, which she does, obviously. When the author dives into the native items and remains to bringing them back to their community is like, damn, I never thought about that, you know, because like I'm not a part of that community, and like this is something very special to them, you know, so it makes it, you know, it's so wrong of like museums and people and collectors to be doing this crap, you know, in the first place. We even learn about how crimes for ingenious women are not as easy to solve, which breaks my heart because everyone should be treated equally no matter what. I'm having trouble with English, can you tell? I don't know why, but yeah, I gave this one 5 stars. I freaking loved it a lot. And then next up, I read Kami-sama Kiss Volume 4 with Yora and Emily. More like Emily, I feel like, because I know Yora's been in a slump, but it's still fun to talk about it anyways. And can you guess what star rating I gave it? 5 stars. We get to see Nanami deal with her feelings for Tomo, and of course Mitsuki coming in hot. We learn more of Tomo's past and how he was before Nanami, which always gets me. This time, Tomo gets taken by the ruler of the sea, who Tomo basically fucked shit on back then in the past. Like, damn, dude. And Nanami has to return the guy's eyes since, you know, Tomo from the past took it. And somehow Nanami has it in her body. I'm still confused on that aspect because I feel like it wasn't explained well. Also, too, I realized how kind of not PG this cover is. I'm just gonna flip it this way for now. Okay? Okay. Mitsuki is obviously so hurt and still in love with her, so he decides to, of course, help Nanami, and Heck becomes a Shinchi to protect and be himself again. And of course, at the end, when she saves Tomo, he flips out because, you know, he obviously cares for Nanami, y'all. Like, bro, I love Tomo so much. And I love Nanami's character. I do wish, though, the character development, but well, you'll see later on. But yeah, give this one 5 stars. Freaking love the art so much. It's so pretty. I really love the series so far, if you can't tell from, you know, me freaking out. Next up, I listened to Dark Star Burning Ash Falls White. This is the Barnes edition I have. That's why it's purple. I gave this one 4.5 stars. I enjoyed this one, and I'm sad that these two characters are no more in anything else because this one kind of hit more for me. Obviously, it's 4.5 stars. I know the first one wasn't that good to me, but this one got to me. We have Zen and Lan basically having two different views on the demon gods, one wanting to control and the other destroying them for good. And of course, in the end, they set out a plan for the world. We see more emotions and honesty, which is one I adored a lot, and I'm so sad for Lan at the end. I wasn't expecting it to end like that, you know? So good. I loved it a lot. So yeah, I'm so glad because I know the first one I was like iffy on whether or not I should read the second one, even buy the second one. But then I had gotten the audiobook hold on it anyways, so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna finish this duology. And it didn't disappoint the last one, and it kind of, you know, shows how like people see and view things differently, and I like that a lot. So yeah, and I really love the colors, and like, look at it. It's so pretty. Like, I was gonna be sad if I didn't like it, but now I like this, so I'm keeping them on my shelf. So I just love the foiling and the art on this cover. It's so pretty, and then too, when you read it and you learn about this god, it makes sense. Anyways, next up, I listened to this audiobook, Book of the Month one, You Again by Kate Goldbeck, which I gave 3 stars. The only thing I liked about this book was the cover, the quotes being used in this book, and the friendship they had at the beginning before the feelings and stuff happening. It just wasn't my cup of tea, but I don't really hate it or want to burn it, so that's a plus. You know, 3 stars is a good in-between for me. Like, there's some things I like, there's some things I didn't like. It's not perfect to me, it's not something I'm going to remember, it's not something I'm going to obsess over, and I'm fine with getting rid of it as well, parting ways to give to someone else who's going to love it more. So it's one of those books, you know. Now, here's some reasons why I didn't like this book. It's 3 reasons, so that's why it's kind of like 3 stars. No time apart, showing more in depth of them each discovering themselves. We get to see them only when they're together more, which I wasn't a fan of, even though I love romance, but like, I don't know, I just thought it was gonna go a different route, to be honest. I need those times to see the characters by themselves so I could see more damn it of the character development and how much they've grown, you know. And then 2, also confessing over text. Come on, no, I don't like that shit. Look at me and confess to me like eye to eye, you know. I want the eye contact. I want you to stare into my soul, not into the phone. Anyways, the last one too is the main reason. The main character, she wasn't a favorite of mine. I do understand why she is the way she is, and I'm sure people can relate to her, but I didn't like her character whatsoever. I'm so sorry. I just don't like it. It kind of annoyed me a lot with her feelings and stuff, which I understand, but I just didn't want to read it, you know, in a book, you know, so yeah, anyways, that's how I felt about this one. Next up, I listened to this audiobook because too, the trans right readathon was happening, and I couldn't participate like I mentioned because as well too, I was in a slump, and to the realmathon, I kind of participated in, but not too much because of the slump. But I wanted to read one book of, you know, the trans readathon and stuff, so I know this one was one of them recommended, and my friend recommended it to me, which is A Shot in the Dark, which I gave 3.25 stars. Really good book. I highly recommend it. Do look up trigger warnings because oh my god, there's so many. You know, I enjoyed the topics that are being discussed in this book as well, so that's very important too at this day and age. The romance here was kind of insta-lovey, which I didn't like as well. That was my tick. I was like, because there's a one night stand happening as well. Anyways, and then two, the way that they literally run into each other at work slash school, like the next day after the one night stand, is kind of awkward to me, kind of iffy. So I had a time with this book and felt for them, but I couldn't connect and wish we had more time with them and their history back and more. I feel like I just wanted so much more for this little short book. I feel like at least the audiobook was really short, but I love the way they talk about their lapses and how to get through it with one another. I really enjoyed that, you know, their stuff and addictions that they used to go through. But yeah, 3.25 stars is a really good rating in my opinion, for me at least. Next up, I listened to this audiobook for Allison Page's book club pick in March, which is Remarkably Bright Creatures. I gave this 3.25 stars as well. The main reason why I didn't give it a higher was Cameron. I couldn't stand how he was acting at times, and I know people who went through what he did can relate to him, but I couldn't, sadly. So it's like, and I guess too because of You Again, I was just like, I don't want a character to listen to like this. Like, it's annoying me listening to it with the voice. I adored the Octo's point of view in Tova, especially their connection and friendship. I love the story here for each character, besides, you know, Cameron. And it just flowed so well, I feel like, and the messages in this book and like finding family and things, it was really good, and like, you know, moving on with life. Really good book. And then next up, I listened to Sign Here. I gave this one 3 stars. I really wanted to like this, but I couldn't. I really thought the execution was interesting, but I couldn't care for the characters. Oops, my bad. And I know too some people like this book, and that's why I picked it, because at the time when I was still part of the book of the month, a lot of people were liking it that I followed, but obviously I didn't like it. The audiobook I couldn't really get into, so that's definitely a downfall on my part, I feel like, with the characters. Maybe if I would have read it more physically, I would have. I don't think I'll try to reread it or pick it back up. So yeah, I think like a 3 star is fine by me. I don't hate it. It's just I felt like it wasn't for me, and something that I had higher expectations of, which I shouldn't be doing with books, but I did with that one because a lot of people liked it, and I really loved the execution, but it wasn't for me. My bad, y'all. Next up, I listened to The Bandit Queens, which I gave 4 stars, which is really good rating. We follow Gita, I believe is how you pronounce her name. I kind of forgot. It's been a few days, y'all, since I listened to the audiobook. So sorry. Has been abandoned by her husband, and supposedly the gossip that she murdered him. So when these other females in the village come to seek help to murder their husbands, who are obviously horrible, they've done a lot of bad crap in their life, and obviously they don't want nothing to do with them. I love how the author used this book to explore so many topics in Indian society, especially for women, obviously, which is very powerful and moving. And like, I really had a time with this book. I kind of giggled and laughed at some parts because I was like, this is kind of ridiculous, but like, it's so funny, and like, I don't mind it. So I really like this book a lot, and I'm glad I listened to an audiobook because it was a fun trip in my opinion. Next up, I read, let's knock it out real quick, Volume 5 and 6 of Kami-sama Kiss. So yeah, let's talk about obviously Volume 5 first, which I gave, Volume 5 I gave 4 stars. In the beginning, we have the gang at the festival, and of course, Tomo and Mitsuki are having at it, so Nanami making them hold hands with her powers was boss-ass move. Girl, you use your powers, use it to your advantage. And finding out Mitsuki gave Tomo the alcohol back then, my heart, like, more flashbacks, more stuff from the past. I love it. I'm eating it up. And the next chapter, we have Nanami trying to make the shrine more lively to get more people to come. So she decides to hold a festival, but there's this guy who tests Nanami and passes, of course, because, you know, she's queen. Then we get to see the festival and Nanami getting anxious, which ends in a wholesome way, because she, you know, she's doing the dancing and there's butterflies, and it's a really pretty scene. Like I mentioned, I love the art in here. It's just so magical and really pretty. I can't wait to watch the anime itself. So yeah. And then volume 6, I gave this one 4.5 stars. Finally, Nanami gets more into her powers and growing more with it. New character as well, who I hated, now I feel bad for. Yes, we love to see character development, and we love to see this, why they are the way that they are, you know, like villains. There's a reason why they're villains, you know? They see things differently from a point of view, and you're like, damn, I actually do feel bad for you. That's how I felt for one of the characters in this book. And also, too, I didn't like the fact that there's another game with Nanami trying to go to the council or something like that. So them two go against each other, her and this person, who the person I feel bad for, because they didn't really have like a chance to show their potential. And it's like, damn, you weren't even you were just there. You were just a pawn. Like, of course I'm gonna feel bad for this character, so I hated that, and I felt so bad for the character, so that's why too. And Tomo being Tomo, confused with his feelings once again, love to see it. I feel so bad for Mitsuki as well. He didn't have that much panels in here. And two, we do see one of her other friends, which I'm kind of glad because I wanted to see more of this character. And I kind of want to see more Nanami with humans and, like, you know, her powers and it being interpreted in her life, or, like, you know, executed in her life. So I really like the series so far. But yeah, those are all the books and audiobooks I finished this month. Like I mentioned, not a lot, but at least I pulled through. And especially at the last few, like, what, 4 days of the month, I, like, read the Comments on My Kiss volumes. Yeah, anyways, I hope you all like this video. Sorry if my reviews aren't too much in depth or, like, very spoilerly or boring. And two, it's okay if you didn't read a lot of books. Life gets in the way, you know, and never compare yourself to others with their reading, because there's some stuff that happens, especially in the world right now, that's happening to people who obviously, you know, stuff. Anyways, before I get emo, I hope you all have a good day, good night, morning, whatever time it is for you when this video reaches you, and I will see you all soon, maybe. We'll see. I'm gonna be kind of busy the next few months. We'll see. Anyways, bye.